All right, I'm gonna see the latest AI storybook. Now, I put in my Alien Seder service for the Angel Week, and um and that's maybe like three songs, three paragraphs. Um, and this does not look like what I This does not look like what I put in. Hold on. Okay, listen.
The great flood had claimed the world below, but the city of Anlia did not sink. It floated, a shimmering crown of glass and steel upon the endless waves. At the prow of the city stood Angle W.A. As the leader of the upcoming ceremony, he watched the horizon, his heart beating in time with the hum of the city's massive engines. He knew the time for the Halgangle. The sacred week of sealing was finally here. Life in Anya was different from the stories of the old world. There were no farms or slaughterhouses. Instead, Angle Ingle stood before the Stardust printer, watching as it hummed with celestial energy. It synthesized nutrients directly from the air and light, creating food without the need for supply chains or the taking of life. She marveled at the machine's grace, knowing that their survival was built on harmony rather than conquest. In Anlia, people weren't judged by common laws, but by their RIQs, random, immutable qualities. These were the innate traits that defined whether a person was a SEC, a builder of structures, or a Welg, a guide of spirits. Angvogfa sat quietly, opening their ATL, a thick sketchbook filled with vibrant drawings. Each page documented their RIQs and their hawks, the moments of rest and breakage that made them who they were. The Halgangal ceremony began on the first day of the new season. Angle W.A. led the procession through the silver corridors, his voice echoing with authority. Beside him walked Angle Ingle, carrying her finished ATL. Every 3 months, the citizens gathered to seal the memories and traits of the past season, clearing their hearts to begin a new chapter in their lives. At the center of the city, Angle W.A. reached the altar of Atlas. The atmosphere was thick with the scent of ozone and incense. He raised a heavy, crystalline seal, ready to mark the books of the citizens. We seal what we were, he declared to the crowd, so that we may become what we must. The engines of Anlia roared beneath them, preparing for a journey no one had ever taken before. Engel Ingel stepped forward, followed closely by Engvolgfa. They waited in the rhythmic silence of the temple. Engel Engel looked at her book one last time, seeing the record of her growth and her mistakes. She felt a sense of peace.
Man, I think I have a
The
sweater.
RIQs inscribed on her pages were no longer just traits. They were her destiny, sorted and accepted by the community. When it was Engvolgfa's turn, they pressed their hand onto the final page of their ATL. The ink shimmered and then hardened, turning into a permanent record of their season. They thought of their hawks, the times they had paused to breathe when the world felt too heavy. In Onlia, a break was not a failure. It was a necessary part of the design, a crack where the light could get in. Suddenly, the city lurched. The great flood was no longer enough to hold them. As the citizens sang the battle cry of the Metacamp, Angle W.A. and Angle Angle watched through the great viewport. My eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the flood, they chanted. The water fell away, replaced by the black velvet of space. Al Anlia, glory, glory, and the city goes to space. We got a whole new universe. To celebrate their arrival in the stars, the feast began. Angle Ingle and Angvolgfa sat together, sharing plates of pancake splatters and apple crap. These ceremonial foods, messy and sweet, represented the floating sectors of their city and the delightful discoveries of the unknown. They sang together, "Eat your pancake splatters and your apple crap. Maybe in the next Oyang will make them real." In the distance, a new nebula glowed with colors humanity had never named. Angle WA opened a brand new ATL, its pages white and hungry for the future. The ceremony of the past was over, and the journey of the new universe had begun. Anlia was no longer just a lifeboat, it was a seed, drifting through the stars to find a place to bloom.
Uh, I mean, some of those things were from the stories that you sing about in the ceremony, and some of them were from the ceremony itself. It was all a huge mix. Uh, I'm gonna post that. Yeah, that's fine.